Welcome to Mythology Minis, the channel where ancient legends come to life in fun, friendly stories for curious minds. Here, we explore myths from all around the world, filled with brave heroes, clever gods, magical creatures, and lessons that still matter today. At Mythology Minis, we believe stories are one of the best ways to learn about courage, kindness, curiosity, and asking big questions about the world. So get comfortable, let your imagination wander, and join us as we travel back to the age of gods and legends. Today's story comes from Norse mythology, the tale of Odin and his search for knowledge. High above the clouds, beyond the world of people, stood a shining land called Asgard. It was the home of the Norse gods, a place of golden halls, roaring fires, and stories older than time itself. And among all the gods who lived there, one stood apart, not because he was the strongest, not because he was the loudest, but because he never stopped wondering. His name was Odin, and this is the story of his search for knowledge. Odin was the All-Father, the leader of the gods. He wore a long cloak and a wide hat, and he seemed to look far beyond what others could see. While many gods loved feasting, fighting, and celebrating victories, Odin often sat quietly at the edge of the hall. He listened while others spoke. He watched while others laughed. Some gods asked him why he spent so much time thinking. Odin would explain that strength could win battles, but wisdom could prevent them. He believed that understanding the world was the best way to protect it. Late at night, when Asgard grew quiet, Odin walked alone beneath the stars. He wondered how the world began, how it worked, and how it might one day end. He didn't seek knowledge to rule others. He sought it so he could guide them wisely. To help him learn, Odin had two special ravens named Hugin and Munnin, thought and memory. Each morning, Odin spoke softly to them, asking them to fly across the skies and watch the world carefully. He told them to notice not just great battles and brave heroes, but also small moments, kindness between strangers, mistakes that led to lessons, and choices that shaped lives. The ravens soared over mountains and seas, villages and forests. They watched people help one another, argue, forgive, and grow. Each evening, Hugin and Munnin returned and perched on Odin's shoulders. They shared stories of what they had seen, of leaders making difficult decisions, of children learning from elders, and of ordinary moments that carried great meaning. Odin listened closely, knowing that wisdom often comes from paying attention rather than speaking first. At the center of everything stood Yggdrasil, the great world tree. Its branches stretched across the sky, and its roots reached deep into magical realms. Odin often stood before the tree, resting his hand against its ancient bark. He believed Yggdrasil held secrets older than the gods themselves, truths about life, fate, and time. Beneath its roots were wells filled with wisdom, guarded by powerful beings who did not give knowledge freely. Odin understood that learning sometimes meant facing difficult choices. He told himself that wisdom was not something you could simply take. It had to be earned, and Odin was willing to do whatever it took. One of Yggdrasil's roots led to the well of Mimir, a quiet place filled with shimmering water. Mimir was known as one of the wisest beings in all the realms. When Odin asked for a drink from the well, Mimir explained that wisdom always came with a cost. He reminded Odin that understanding the world also meant carrying its burdens. Odin listened carefully. He thought about the responsibility that came with knowledge, the hard truths, the difficult choices, and the weight of knowing what might come next. Without hesitation, Odin made a great sacrifice, giving up one of his eyes so he could gain deeper understanding. From that day on, Odin saw the world differently, not just with his remaining eye, but with his mind and heart. He understood that true wisdom meant seeing beyond what was right in front of you. Still, Odin felt there was more to learn. He believed that magical symbols called runes held important lessons about life, courage, and destiny. To learn their secrets, Odin made his greatest sacrifice of all. He hung himself from Yggdrasil, suspended between the worlds, thinking deeply and listening to the whispers of the universe. For many days and nights, Odin endured hunger, loneliness, and silence. He reflected on everything he had seen and learned. He believed that some lessons could only be learned through patience and reflection. At last, the runes revealed themselves, glowing with ancient light. Odin understood how knowledge could be used, not to control others, but to protect the worlds and guide them through difficult times. With everything he learned, Odin became a better leader. He shared his wisdom with the gods and guided heroes on their journeys. He reminded others that knowledge was not meant to be kept hidden, it was meant to be shared. Odin taught that learning never truly ends and that asking questions is one of the bravest things anyone can do. Even as the ruler of Asgard, Odin continued to listen, watch, and learn, knowing that wisdom grows when curiosity never fades. And that is the story of Odin and his search for knowledge, a journey filled with curiosity, sacrifice, and understanding. It reminds us that wisdom isn't about knowing everything right away. It's about being willing to learn, to listen, and to grow. Thanks for joining us here on Mythology Minis, where ancient stories become exciting adventures for curious minds. If you enjoyed today's journey, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new myth. We explore legends from all around the world, filled with brave heroes, clever gods, magical creatures, and lessons that still matter today. Remember, every great story begins with curiosity. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep exploring the myths that shaped our world. Until next time, this has been Mythology Minis, where big legends come in bite-sized adventures.